1 year after the Great Conflict, the worlds of Dahnan and Renan have merged into a single planet. This unification, however, has not brought immediate peace. The Dahnan and Renan people now live side by side, but deep-seated scars and prejudices remain, creating a tense and volatile new world. Amidst the lingering chaos of the world's convergence, old tensions fester. The people of this new, unified world are discovering that physical proximity does not erase generations of conflict. Our hero's journey continues in this fragile era where the slightest spark could ignite a new wave of hatred and violence. While traveling, Alfin and Shion discuss the constant threat of Zugals in the newly merged world. They remain vigilant, aware that danger could be lurking anywhere. Their conversation reveals they are on their way to meet their old comrade, Balsef, in a nearby city to gather information about a troublesome mausoleum. Two Dahnan men interrupt Alfin and Shion, searching for a Renan child, the daughter of a lord. Recognizing Alfin as the legendary blazing sword, they demand his help in capturing her, assuming he shares their animosity. They see it as his duty to help them against a perceived enemy. Disgusted by the men's prejudice, Alfin refuses to help them hunt a child. He and Shion resolve to find the girl themselves, not to capture her, but to protect her from those who would do her harm. They understand that her lineage makes her a target in this unstable world. Alfin and Shion find the frightened girl hiding. They gently reassure her that they mean no harm and are there to help, explaining that they heard people were chasing her. Alfin, recognizing her as the daughter of a lord, offers his assistance, trying to earn her trust in a tense situation. The girl, Nazamil, is initially hesitant and distrustful of their offer to help. Shion introduces herself and Alfin, attempting to create a connection. After a moment of consideration, Nazamil quietly accepts their company, agreeing to travel with them to the city of Niz, though she remains wary and reserved. Upon arriving in Niz, Alfin and Shion are joyfully reunited with their friends, Law, Rinwell, Kisara, and Dohalim. The happy reunion is cut short as they learn of the serious trouble brewing in the city. The atmosphere is a powder keg of racial tension between Dahnans and newly arrived Renan refugees. The group explains to Nazamil that her status as a lord's daughter makes her a significant target for prejudice from some Dahnans. They decide the best course of action is to take her to the area where the Renan refugees live, hoping she will find safety and understanding among them. The old friends catch up, sharing what they've been doing since they last parted. Dohalim is managing Renan refugees in Pelagian, Kisara commands a new service corps in Visint, Rinwell is engrossed in her studies, and Law assists the Crimson Crows. Alfin and Shion continue their travels, not yet ready to settle. The group's attempt to find safety for Nazamil among the Renans backfires horribly. The Renan refugees reject her with venom, revealing that her mother was a Dahnan. They consider her mixed blood repugnant and an insult to the glorious lineage of her father, the former Water Lord Volran. After being rejected by both sides, Nazamil is asked why she didn't reveal her mixed heritage. She explains it was too painful and complicated to discuss. Alfin observes her stoicism, wondering if she has simply become numb to the pain after a lifetime of ostracization, a question she cannot answer. They finally meet with Balsef, who confirms the dangerous situation in Niz. Concerned for Nazamil's safety, the group decides she cannot stay in the volatile city. Alfin proposes that they take her with them to the mausoleum, believing she will be safest under their collective protection. As they approach the mausoleum in the ruins of Aden Lake, Nazamil is told to stay close. The group prepares for the dangers within, aware that the ancient structure is likely teeming with Zugals and other threats. Their primary mission is to investigate and neutralize the unstable facility. On the way to the mausoleum, Nazamil's stomach growls from hunger. The group decides it's best to eat before entering the dangerous ruins. This light-hearted moment serves as a brief respite from the tension and they decide to cook a meal together, seeing it as an opportunity to bond. While gathering ingredients, the party finds a peculiar Dahnan relic. Rinwell identifies it as a good luck charm, traditionally given to family or someone special to feel connected across any distance. Nazamil, claiming to have no one, discards it, but Xian picks it up, deciding to hold on to it. Nazamil reveals her traumatic past during the meal, explaining she has almost never eaten with others. Her father was abusive, and she was mistreated by everyone in her household. This is the first time she has shared a meal in a friendly setting, a new and uncomfortable experience for her. Law explains to Nazamil that sharing a meal with people you're close to makes the food taste better because you're also sharing joy and conversation. After a moment of quiet contemplation, a shy Nazamil admits the food was good and asks if they can eat together again sometime, taking a small step forward. Nazamil asks if the group is bothered by her mixed parentage. They quickly reassure her that they are all unusual in their own ways, a Dahnan mage, a Renan lord who prefers poetry, and so on. They explain that their shared humanity is far more significant than any individual differences. Inside the mausoleum, the group explains its purpose to Nazamil. These Helganquil facilities were built to control astral energy, but are now disrupting the world's new elemental balance. The party's mission is to disable them to help the world heal and achieve its natural state of 6 elements. Nazamil reveals her father told her she possesses all 6 elements due to her mixed blood, making it her duty to master them. Dohalim remarks that this makes her a herald of the new era. In this unified world, people like her may one day be the norm, and those with only 5 elements the old generation. Deep within the mausoleum, a mysterious crest suddenly appears on Nazamil's body. Overcome with fear and shock, she vanishes in a flash of light. The party is left stunned, realizing her crest is similar to the Sovereign and Maiden crests, hinting at a much deeper and more complicated origin for the girl. The group finds Nazamil in a chamber filled with sleeping Helganquil. She had run off in fear after her crest manifested. Before they can calm her down, the dormant Helganquil guardians awaken, forcing the party into a defensive battle to protect themselves and the terrified Nazamil. After the battle, Nazamil breaks down, confessing her hatred for her unnatural existence. She feels she belongs nowhere, rejected by everyone for being different. Her own father despised her, and she fears her new friends will cast her aside now that they've seen her strange power. Xian comforts Nazamil, relating to her pain of having an unwanted power that caused her to lose so much. She assures Nazamil that their friends accepted her despite her curse, and they will undoubtedly accept Nazamil too. This shared experience creates a powerful bond between them. The group disables the mausoleum's main function to prevent misuse. They explain to Nazamil that this is their ongoing mission, to find and seal these facilities. It's a responsibility they've taken on themselves, partly as a way to atone for their role in the world's chaotic convergence. Alfin is questioned about his title, the Blazing Sword, and admits he dislikes it. The name carries heavy assumptions from both Dahnans and Renans, causing him to be judged by people who don't know him. It's a contradiction, as he still carries the very sword that gave him the title. Xian apologizes to Nazamil, revealing a shocking truth. Nazamil was used as an experimental subject on Lenegis because she was a potential replacement for the Sovereign after Alfin escaped. Her incomplete crest is a result of Hallrun being completed first. Nazamil was a victim of the same cruel system. Nazamil absorbs the shocking revelation about her past. Instead of despair, she finds a strange comfort. She says it makes her happy to know there are other people like her who were also subjected to the Helganquil's cruel experiments. She no longer feels completely alone in her unique existence. The party brings Nazamil to Visint, a city where Dahnans and Renans live together as equals. It serves as a beacon of hope in the divided world. They hope that by seeing this model of coexistence, Nazamil might finally find a place where she can feel safe and accepted for who she is. In Visint, Nazamil witnesses a friendly interaction between a Renan sculptor and a Dahnan singer. They explain that they appreciate their differences rather than finding fault in them. They tell her that Lord Dohalim is the reason for their peaceful coexistence, highlighting his role in fostering unity. They meet with a city official, Dahnan, to arrange for Nazamil to live in Visint. He explains that acceptance into the city depends on one thing: whether you can interact with those different from yourself without prejudice. Nazamil's honest desire for peace is deemed good enough to begin the process. In the palace courtyard, Nazamil is drawn to a flower called the Rose of Unity, a symbol of the two worlds merging. She feels a connection to it, as it is neither Renan nor Dahnan, much like herself. It represents a new identity born from the convergence, one that she is struggling to understand. Nazamil tearfully thanks Alfin and Shion. She explains that despite learning more about her complicated identity, a lord's daughter, half Dahnan, a test subject, they never changed how they treated her. They protected her without prejudice, an experience of acceptance she had never known before. Moved by their kindness, Nazamil asks Alfin what she can do to help him and be useful. Her question reveals a deep-seated need to prove her worth, likely a result of her abusive upbringing. Before Alfin can fully respond, Law interrupts to let them know Nazamil's room is ready. As they prepare to leave, the group gives Nazamil the good luck charm from the ruins, now repaired. They tell her that even if she feels she has no one special, she is special to all of them. This simple act of friendship solidifies their bond, leaving Nazamil with her first real friends. Just as the group celebrates a peaceful resolution for Nazamil, a member of Kisara's service corps arrives with urgent news. A powerful Zugal has been attacking Faria Ranch, threatening Menancia's already declining food supply. The party immediately agrees to help, their moment of rest cut short. As they prepare to leave for the ranch, Nazamil appears, having followed them. She confesses she doesn't want to be left behind and wants to come with them. After some debate, the group agrees, recognizing her pain of being alone and trusting her ability to protect herself if needed. At Faria Ranch, the owner, Bogdel, explains the bizarre situation. A Zugal has been attacking his livestock, but despite rushing to the scene of the commotion, he has never once laid eyes on the creature. The party deduces they are dealing with a foe that possesses some form of stealth. The party struggles to find the mysterious Zugal. Realizing it must be invisible, Nazamil uses her own power to disappear and then reveals the creature's location. Her quick thinking allows the group to finally confront the invisible foe that has been terrorizing the ranch. After defeating the invisible Zugal, the party praises Nazamil for her cleverness. Being thanked feels good to her, a new and welcome sensation. The simple act of being useful and appreciated by her friends fills her with a quiet joy she has rarely, if ever, experienced before. Returning to the ranch, they find Bogdel grievously wounded. The Zugal had attacked again while they were gone. Without hesitation, Nazamil uses her unique astral arts to heal his mortal wounds instantly, saving his life and further proving her invaluable place among her new friends. Bogdel, astonished and grateful, thanks Nazamil profusely for saving his life. Alfin reassures her, pointing out that there are people who appreciate her for who she is and what she can do. This moment of validation is a significant turning point for the girl who has only known rejection. During their celebration camp, Nazamil is welcomed back by the group. The simple phrase, "welcome back," is foreign to her, as she's never had a place to call home. They teach her the response, "It's good to be back," giving her a sense of belonging and inclusion within their makeshift family. The group notices a positive change in Nazamil. She seems lighter and more at ease. She confesses she's never known how to have fun, but her heart feels less heavy. For the first time, she used her power to help someone and was praised for it, a completely new and wonderful experience. A messenger from Niez arrives with dire news. The city's Dahnans and Renans are on the brink of open war, and the Dark Wings can no longer control the situation. The party's brief celebration is over. They are being called back to the city they just left, a place filled with hatred. Arriving back in Niez, they find the city overrun with Zugals. Someone, either Dahnan or Renan, has deliberately let them in to escalate the conflict. With the city in chaos and too many enemies to split up, the party must fight their way through the streets to restore order. As they fight through Niez, they discover a trail of hollowing, the eerie remainder of matter stripped of its astral energy. They realize with dawning horror that Nazamil is responsible, having unleashed an incredibly powerful astral art to deal with the Zugals and the escalating conflict. In the city plaza, the party finds Nazamil standing over defeated Zugals. The panicked townspeople, both Dahnan and Renan, brand her a monster for the destruction she caused. When Alfin steps in to defend her, they turn their rage on him, questioning his loyalty and calling him a traitor. Enraged by their ignorance and prejudice, Alfin draws the blazing sword on the very people he fought to save. He declares that anyone who would harm an innocent child, regardless of their race or past grievances, is his enemy. His heroic image is shattered in their eyes. After the confrontation, Alfin is distraught. He was forced to draw his blade against those who once looked to him for help, using force just like the enemies he fought against. He feels he has betrayed his own ideals, leaving him shaken and questioning his path. Nazamil is heartbroken, believing Alfin is being punished because of her actions. Balsef advises the group to leave Niez until the situation cools down. The party who rushed to the city's aid is now being treated as the problem, forced to depart under a cloud of misunderstanding and resentment. The next morning, the group discovers Nazamil is gone. She left a letter explaining that she doesn't want her friends to be hated because of her. Taught by them that her power can be useful, she has gone to find something she can do on her own, leaving her first friends behind. Weeks pass as the party searches relentlessly for Nazamil, using Visint as their base of operations. Despite their efforts, they find no trace of her. They follow a lead about a Renan-looking girl on a highway, hoping to finally find their lost friend, but the search continues to be fruitless. The search for Nazamil only brings them more conflict. They encounter a paranoid Renan family who fears Alfin will harm them, and a belligerent Renan man in Visint demanding preferential treatment. These encounters highlight the deep-rooted prejudice and mistrust that still plague the world. Suddenly, Nazamil's disembodied voice is heard, telling them to be patient a little longer before vanishing. The cryptic message leaves the group bewildered. They realize she may have been watching them all along and decide to halt their active search, believing she will return when she is ready. In Cislodia, an old informant asks Law for help finding his missing friend. The party agrees, and Alfin's willingness to help someone with a questionable past shows his evolving perspective. He respects the man's desire to start over, seeing it as crucial in these changing times. The informant's missing friend is revealed to be a Renan hiding in the mountains. The two formed an unlikely friendship after the Renan saved the informant's life. This small, hidden bond between two outcasts serves as a quiet example of the personal connections forming outside society's prejudices. Being called a hero again bothers Alfin. He suggests they visit Calaglia, seeking a distraction and perhaps some clarity. Xian, understanding his inner turmoil, agrees. She senses that he needs to confront the burden of his heroic identity and hopes a change of scenery will help him. In Calaglia, the people's reliance on Alfin as a hero becomes overwhelming. They expect him to solve all their problems, from material shortages to Zugal infestations. This constant pressure weighs heavily on him, making him question if they see him as a person or just a legendary weapon. Alphen reaches a breaking point, confessing his frustration to Xion. He feels doomed to fail people's expectations and questions his own identity, apart from the blazing sword. Xioni reminds him he has friends to guide him and takes him to see someone who can help, Doc. Doc offers Alphen some simple but profound advice. He tells Alphen he only has 2 hands and cannot hold the world's problems. He must decide for himself what is important and what he chooses to do with his own strength, rather than letting the legend of the blazing sword dictate his actions. Inspired by Doc's words, Alphen gives a powerful speech to the people of Calaglia. He declares he is not a god or a hero, but a human with limits. He asks them not to rely on any single individual, but to work together to build their own lasting freedom, sharing the responsibility. Freed from the burden of the hero label, Alphen decides his next step. He wants to find Nazamil. But first, he intends to travel to other cities and spread his message of collective responsibility, starting with Nice, hoping to sow the seeds of true, independent peace across the world. Returning to Nice, the party is met with a chilling sight. The city's inhabitants, both Dahnan and Renan, are silently marching, their faces hidden by masks identical to the iron mask Alphen once wore. They are unresponsive, trapped in a strange, uniform state of compliance. Balsef reveals the source of the bizarre situation. A group called Kalis Vas, the One Path, arrived and forced masks on everyone. Their leader, wearing a unique mask, was none other than Nazamil. They claim to bring peace, but their method is to turn people into mindless puppets. Following Balsef's lead, the group tracks Kalis Vas to a mausoleum hidden in the Shinefall woods. They find that even members of the Snake Eyes, a Renan supremacist group, have been pacified by the masks. This demonstrates the terrifying power Nazamil now wields, capable of subduing even the most fanatical. An unmasked Snake Eyes member explains that Nazamil and her group took over their base. He describes how the masks instantly changed his friends' personalities, turning them into docile followers. He reveals a special passage that only opens for those wearing the masks, blocking the party's path forward. The party discovers the mask production facility within the mausoleum. The workers, also masked, explain the devices are called suppressors, designed to subdue the wearer's will and create world peace. Their minds are harmonized with the reigning visage, the special mask worn by their leader. The masked workers reveal their ultimate plan. They have located the Keystone, the central facility that controls all mausoleums worldwide. By interfacing with it, the bearer of the reigning visage, Nazamil, can harmonize with all suppressors at once, uniting the world under a single, controlled will. In a sparse room they believe to be Nazamil's, the group finds her drawings of them and a diary entry. She writes about her pain of being different and her realization that it wasn't her fault. This understanding has led her to a new resolve, to use her power to change the world. The party pieces together Nazamil's tragic motivation. After being horribly treated for her differences, she now believes she can solve the world's problems by using the masks to make everyone the same. They realize they must stop her before she imposes her misguided vision of peace on everyone. They finally confront Nazamil in the heart of the mausoleum. She confirms her plan to alter everyone's will with the suppressors. She believes that by making everyone's mind the same as hers, they will all automatically like her friends, protecting them from the hatred she has endured. When the group rejects her plan, calling it tyranny, Nazamil is devastated. She sees their opposition as a personal betrayal from the only friends she's ever had. In her despair, she decides the only solution is to put suppressors on them as well, so they can finally be the same. Defeated and heartbroken by her friend's rejection, Nazamil feels she has failed. Believing she is despicable and unwanted, she declares that she should just disappear. In a final act of despair, she turns her power on herself, triggering a massive release of astral energy that engulfs her. Nazamil vanishes through a teleporter, which then locks from the other side. The party deduces she has gone to the Keystone. They realize the reigning visage mask must have altered her mind as well, and her actions are now a desperate attempt to erase herself after losing her friend's approval. The group discovers that the masked people are not attacking, but rather repeating Nazamil's true feelings of apology and sadness. They theorize that with her own mind suppressed by the mask, her consciousness is flowing through the network, broadcasting her inner turmoil to all her puppets. Alfin blames himself for the turn of events. He believes he was too focused on rebuking Nazamil's actions and failed to empathize with her immense pain. He recognizes that for someone who had nothing, losing her first friends was like losing her entire world, leading to her desperate actions. Xion comforts Alfin, seeing herself in Nazamil, saddled with an unwanted fate and treated as an outsider. She reminds him that they all have similar scars and that just as they saved each other, they now must save Nazamil and show her she is not alone in her pain. Arriving at the Keystone, the party finds it to be a massive Helganquil nexus. The masked members of Kalasfas stand silently, now vessels for Nazamil's broadcasted sorrow. The path to the core is sealed, forcing the group to find another way through the ancient, dangerous facility. As they venture deeper, they find more of Nazamil's drawings of the party members. Each picture serves as a poignant reminder of the friendship she cherished. It becomes clear that she placed them here before putting on the mask, perhaps to remind herself of why she was undertaking her misguided quest. A shadow of Nazamil, formed from astral energy, appears and attacks them. The party realizes this is not the real girl, but a physical manifestation of her fear and pain, a defense mechanism of the Keystone trying to keep them away. It is a reflection of a heart that has closed itself off. The shadowy apparitions of Nazamil cry out in pain, screaming, "Don't hurt me, and I hate this." The party understands that these are not attacks, but Nazamil's inner screams of agony made manifest. They are literally fighting against the physical embodiment of her trauma and despair. The group discusses the immense challenge ahead. They recognize that Nazamil is in unimaginable pain, but they must find her and help her confront it. They steel their resolve, knowing that their only path forward is to reach her, talk her down, and free her from her self-imposed prison. Rinwell expresses her doubts, wondering if forcing Nazamil out of her emotional shell is the right thing to do. She fears it might cause her more harm. Dohalim explains that true support means setting Nazamil free, even from her dependence on them, so she can choose her own path. They finally reach the core of the Keystone and find Nazamil, unresponsive and connected to the massive device. The entity, a fusion of Nazamil and the Keystone's will, speaks, declaring that all differences must be erased to eliminate hatred. It does not recognize them and prepares to attack. The Keystone entity attacks them with spectral replicas of the weapons used by the former Renan lords. Each weapon represents a past trauma and a hurdle to overcome. The party understands this is a test, a physical manifestation of the world's painful history that they must conquer to reach Nazamil. The entity summons copies of itself, which the party realizes are manifestations of the barrier around Nazamil's heart. By defeating these copies, they can weaken her defenses and potentially get through to her. The fight becomes a desperate attempt to break down the walls she has built around herself. Through their combined efforts and heartfelt words, they finally reach Nazamil for a brief moment. She awakens, but the Keystone's power is too strong and immediately consumes her, transforming her into a monstrous creature made of pure astral energy. Nazamil herself is gone, replaced by this new threat. Though Nazamil has been consumed, the party realizes there is still hope. The monster is made of astral energy, just like the shadows. If they weaken it enough, they might be able to wake her up again. Their final battle is not to destroy, but to rescue the friend trapped within the monster. As they fight the monster, each party member calls out to Nazamil, speaking from the heart. Do'alim speaks of accepting differences, Kasara of allyship, and Law of overcoming anguish. Their words are a relentless assault on the despair that has imprisoned their friend. Shion and Rinwell add their voices, reminding Nazamil of their shared meals, the good luck charm, and the genuine friendship they offered. They plead with her to come back, to not disappear, affirming her place among them. Their emotional appeal chips away at the monster's power. Alfin makes his final plea, telling Nazamil he wants to know the real her, face to face, not through a mask. He assures her she already has a place where she belongs, right there with them. His words, combined with the efforts of the others, finally begin to break the Keystone's hold. With a final combined attack infused with their feelings, the party shatters the monster's form. Nazamil, hearing their voices, finds the strength to break free. She declares that her friends taught her that she can just be herself, and with that realization, she destroys the Keystone's core. The Keystone is neutralized, and miraculously, no one remembers their time wearing the masks. Nazamil, now free, admits she cannot forget what she did. The party, showing no ill will, is simply glad to have her back, their friendship having weathered the ultimate storm. Nazamil decides she must leave to find her own happiness and learn to stand on her own, free from her desire to please others. She knows that only by finding herself can she truly stand alongside them as an equal. They promise to eat together again when she is ready. With a heartfelt farewell, Nazamil departs on her own journey. Instead of goodbye, they say, "See you soon," confident that their paths will cross again. The party watches her go, hopeful for her future and the new person she will become on her journey of self-discovery. As they look toward a brighter future, the friends reflect on Nazamil's departure. They know she will change, but so will they, and the bonds that matter will remain. With renewed purpose, they are ready to face whatever comes next, stronger and more united than ever before. In the quiet aftermath, Alfin and Shion share a private moment. He is finally ready to say what he has been wanting to tell her, prepared to move forward. She gently stops him, telling him now is not the time, but reassures him she's not going anywhere, leaving their future open and full of promise.